I'm Michelle. I'm the Children's Librarian of the Sheridan County Public Library System. And here's another episode of Bookmarks. This is called Prairie Lotus by Linda Sue Park. And Linda Sue Park has written wonderful books. And she wrote this book because she was thinking about the Little House on the Prairie books. And she realized that because she didn't look like Laura and Mary and the rest of them, that probably Ma Ingalls wouldn't let Laura be her friend. So she thought, I'm going to write a book. And this is Prairie Lotus. And it goes like this. Dakota Territory, April 1880. Should be our last day, Papa said when they stopped to make camp. He unhitched the tired horses from the wagon and then led them down a little draw to water, while Hannah began clearing the ground for a fire. They had journeyed for almost a month since leaving Cheyenne, their most recent stretch in the near 3 years of travel. 3 years without a real home. Tomorrow they would reach their destination, La Forge, a railroad town in Dakota Territory. Hannah was looking forward to cooking supper. They'd been able to buy groceries in North Platte, but since then it had rained for almost a solid week. They had to make do with a meal after meal of stale biscuits and cold beans. She had put dried codfish to soak the night before, soup, she thought, with onions and potatoes. Papa returned with the horses and a bucket of water. He fastened the horses to their picket lines and then left again to gather some bushwood. I'm going to make soup, she told him when he returned to start the fire. About time we had a hot meal, he said. Hannah bristled at the note of petulance in his voice. The dreary weather the past week was hardly her fault, but she said nothing, not wanting to start a fight. Sky's clearing, he said. Maybe it'll be easier to scare up a rabbit or something. He went off with his gun on his arm, his long-legged strides covering ground quickly. Hannah watched him till he vanished behind a low rise. The endless prairie looked flat at first glance, but the land was never completely level. Rain had rinsed the gray and the beige plains, leaving behind a translucence of green that was growing denser every day. She went into the wagon and opened her trunk. She took out a piece of paper, brown wrapping paper, a pencil, a rubber eraser, and a well-worn magazine. The paper had been folded accordion style several times and folded some twice. Opened out, the creases formed rectangles about 2 inches wide and 3 inches tall. 3 dozen of them. Hannah used up half the rectangles on one side of the paper, and each was a small pencil sketch of a dress. House dresses, visiting dresses, dresses for church, even ball gowns. She had seen pictures of ball gowns in Goody's Ladies' Book magazine. It was fun to draw the elegant garments, even though she would never have a chance to wear one. And that's the beginning of Prairie Lotus. So will Hannah and her father make it to La Forge? And what will happen for her living in the prairie? I just want to remind you, we call this bookmarks because bookmarks are really wonderful things. If you put them in the book, it tells the characters you're going to be coming back, and plus it reminds you where you need to start reading again. But this is Prairie Lotus by Linda Sue Park, and thanks for joining me.